All right, welcome and welcome back. This is Anthony with Where's My Cashflow, helping you better manage your money effectively. You can check my website's link in this video's description, and you can book an audit so that you can get back on track. So, this article that I came across, I'm sure a lot of you heard about it. $1,000 safety emergency is very hard, difficult for a lot of Americans to achieve. And I'm just going to go through the article, and then it also talks about what you can do to change it. So let me go ahead and get into it. So most Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency expense report fines. So I'm just going to kind of breeze through this article. I don't like reading articles word by word when I'm like recording a video, because I'm sure you can read it yourself. I'm gonna drop the link to this article anyway. But whether it's a busted refrigerator, car trouble, or medical issues, car trouble is the biggest thing. Unexpected costs are part of life, but even such routine curveballs often spell serious financial trouble for many Americans. According to a Bankrate report that surveyed more than 1,000 U.S. adults about their ability to handle a surprise bill. Despite the country's current low unemployment rate, the annual study found that 59% of Americans in 2025 don't have enough savings to cover an unexpected $1,000 emergency expense. So, I guess ask yourself that question. You can, if you're brave enough or you don't mind, put it in the comment section. Can you afford right now, if something was to happen, say your car was to break down, and it's going to cost $1,000 to fix it? Do you have the money ready, like cash in hand, to pay that expense? Um, I guess you could put yes or no, but you can elaborate as well. So let's see if the people that they surveyed is pretty accurate. We are essentially a paycheck to paycheck nation. Yep, most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Fewer Americans have the equivalent of a financial safety net to cover inevitable, unexpected expenses, despite low unemployment and steady growth. This is one of the consequences of elevated prices stemming from inflation, the impacts of which are still being felt. So, talk about the election, what it was about. Overall inflation for products topped at 9.1%. Now it's at 2.9% as far as the annual rates. And it's okay. So that okay. So what was going on with that? With the younger Americans worry most. Cost of food, housing is getting expensive, especially rent. It's grown so fast, and healthcare uh, over the past several years has made it very difficult. The Bankrate survey, shows that 73% of Americans say they're saving less for unexpected expenses, compared with 68% in 2024. Though inflation is no longer rising as quickly as it did in recent years, more people this year feel the economy has affected their savings. So then it just breaks down. 80% of Gen Zers worry about being able to cover immediate expenses if they lost their primary source of income. Yeah, damn, that's like everyone. Compared with 72%, still majority of millennials and Gen Zs. 58% of baby boomers. Yep, everyone is worrying about money if they lose their main source of income. That's why you need to have multiple streams of income. Very important. You need to do something more than just your job. Even if it's gig economy, something needs to be there where you can actually build something. And then the goal is really to have that to build up passive income, or a passive income source that can actually pay for your necessities of just your lifestyle. That's like ideal. Borrower nation, only 41% of Americans say they would be able to tap their savings to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense. That's down 3% from 2024, from last year, and the lowest percentage since 2021. Another 25% they would use a credit card to pay for $1,000 bill. 13% say they would turn to a family member for the money, and 5% they would take out a personal loan for $1,000. In total, about what from the bank? Because usually to get a personal, okay, maybe they're just saying personal loan, but the loan will be bigger. In total, about 43% of respondents told Bankrate they would have to borrow money to pay for an emergency expense of $1,000. That's a concern given consumers collectively owe a record 1.14 trillion dollars in credit card debt. Yep. The cost of living continues to rise. It's always going to rise. The cost of living is always going to rise. Prices never go down. Um, Households turn to credit card when in a bind. They are a terrific tool when used wisely and effectively, yeah. But with interest rates still high, we need to avoid deepening debt burden, which could make it more challenging to save. Another 13% of Americans say they would pay for a surprise $1,000 debt by curbing their spending. On a positive note, while 36% of adults said that credit card debt exceeded what they had in emergency savings, Bankrate found more than half of survey respondents at 55% had more emergency savings in 2024 than credit card debt. Really? Okay. That's the highest percentage since 2018. Okay, these numbers, when it starts getting this detail with numbers, and I'm like, it's a snapshot. So, but that's what the people they surveyed are saying. Asked how much they have in their emergency savings. 28% of respondents said they had enough to cover 6 months of expenses. 6 months is nice. 60% they had enough to cover 3 to 5 months. 29% had enough to cover less than 3 months worth of bills. 27% they had no emergency savings at all. Yeah. So which category are you in? Do you have emergency savings to cover 3 months? Tips for saving now. So, for people who consider themselves among the roughly one third of Americans who want to reduce their debt and boost their emergency savings in 2025, these are tips offered. Calculate how much you need to save. As a general target, experts recommend saving 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in case of emergencies. To figure out how much to put away, add the total amount you spend each month on food, housing, gas, and other bills. So, if your monthly bills amount to $2,000 a month, you'll need $6,000 and savings to stay afloat in case of emergencies such as a job loss. And that's the whole point. That's one of the points of the audits that I do. I look at your transactions. I look at what you're bringing in. It could even be the assets and the liabilities you have. Like I put all that stuff together to show you, okay, if you want to build up this like liquid emergency fund, this is how much you're going to need. You can cut a lot of these expenses, these subscriptions. You don't need it, so it might not be as high as you think it is. But you got to know what you're spending your money on and the trend of what you've been spending your money on, if it's helpful or not. So that's number one. Number two, open a savings account just for emergencies. Yep. Opening an online savings account, money market account. Okay, yeah. With your existing bank or credit union can help you save for unexpected emergencies. Yeah, you kind of don't want your checking and savings to be that connected, because what you're going to do is just pull from the savings when something really happens. You want to put some friction so that it kind of stops you. Like, it requires discipline. That's why I like to focus on earning potential. If you can make more money and you've built up the discipline to not just spend everything the extra that you make, then you can really turn it around, and you could be in a position where you're bringing in the income. You could put at least like 10% aside in that savings account. They're separated. You don't have to mess with it. So that's a good one. And then number three, make a budget and stick to it. I like to say map your money. What's the goal of where your money should be going, how it should be growing, what's the purpose, why, what lifestyle do you want exactly, how does that look like exactly, and how much will that cost? Really important. So establish guardrails around your spending habits by putting a budget in place. Yeah, keep it as a reminder. Okay, so AC, that's the article. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Is it helpful? What do you do yourself? Do you have your 3 months, 6 months, or no months of emergency fund? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like this video if you found it useful and valuable, and share this with anyone you think can really benefit from this financial information. I would appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you in the next one.